number 5 Duke. Here's why the Crazies are over the top. A half an hour ago, 8 miles away in Chapel Hill, Tyler Hansbrough misses a desperation 3, and Maryland upsets North Carolina. Even the Clemson fans high-fiving the Dukies. Hello, everybody. Mike Patrick, Fran Fraschilla. It's great to have you with us. Now that North Carolina went down to Maryland this afternoon, who's number 1 in the ACC? Who belongs at the top? One of these teams?
We'll find out tonight. The door is open for Duke. They're accustomed to be at the top of the league. But for Clemson, if you're going to get there, it usually goes through Durham or Chapel Hill. So Oliver Purnell's club tonight has a great opportunity, Mike.
All right, how about your star watch?
Well, Trevor Booker is one of the unsung, unknown rising stars in the country. He is a low down low, and he's been particularly effective lately. And for Mike Krzyzewski, it's a young basketball team, but the one senior leader, the toughness comes from DeMarcus Nelson.
Let's take a look at the starting lineups for the Clemson Tigers. They come in 14-3 overall, 2-1 in the ACC. Their strength up front with Rivers, Mays, and Booker. They are deep up front off the bench as well. For the Duke Blue Devils, they have lost one time. That was in overtime to Pitt this year. Their strength is and always has been in the backcourt. Paulus Henderson and DeMarcus Nelson in a 3-guard starting lineup. Mike Krzyzewski, number 6 on the all-time win list. He has done such an incomparable job with Duke. And Oliver Purnell for Clemson has taken 4 teams to 20-win seasons in a remarkable career. And he has built this Clemson program to the point where they are a national title contender.
And Mike, you mentioned contrasting styles of play. Clemson will try to go inside early.
Stitt is the freshman point guard, although Hammonds has more assists on this club than anybody. Clemson being very patient on the opening possession, and Hammonds drives with that left hand, got the baseline and got the score. And here's full court pressure from the Tigers off the made basket.
Keep your eye on James Mays. He's the best in the country on the ball at the point of the press.
McClure penetrating. Nobody really cut him off. Henderson with a runner short. Stitt pushing it. Oh, look at Mays on the follow. Bad left hand and all.
There's the strength we talked about. He's not a skilled guy, but a great energy player.
And he has been injured one way or another the entire year. Henderson trying to get inside, and he is fouled by Stitt.
You see Stitt get all the way to the rim. Probably not a great shot, but Mays cleans up the miss. Young man from local Garner, North Carolina, has a lot of family here today.
Paulus, who has been up and down during his career and this year, got it inside to Singler. Isn't that going to be a key, how well Duke can do inside against these guys?
Especially with Singler, Mike, because he not only can do what he just did, but he'll stretch those big guys from Clemson with the long ball as well.
Stitt being pressured as Duke is trying to ratchet up the defense. Stitt all the way.
That's Mr. Basketball in North Carolina a year ago.
Clemson with the early lead. Here's Henderson. This is going to look like a track meet most of the night. Paulus, great outside shooter. If somebody isn't out on him right now, it's Mays.
Well, right now you have 3 guys for Duke that shoot over 40 behind the arc.
Henderson with a strong one and done for the Blue Devils. Don't expect much offensive rebounding out of Duke. Although they did a really good job against Florida State the other night.
Well, Florida State is athletic, as you know. You had that game, but this is a bigger, more physical Clemson team.
Rivers, there's Mays, and he traveled. This is not your grandfather's Clemson Tigers basketball team. They are off to another great start, but they show no signs of wilting either. They had big road wins at Mississippi State and Alabama. In fact, they're 5-1 away from home. Now, Singler traveled on the baseline. It was not a made basket.
Exactly. Freshman mistake. He must hold his ground.
It's usually one thing about Mike Krzyzewski teams, even freshmen are wise beyond their years. For Singler, not that time. And Oglesby, number 22, is in for Clemson. This kid is a lights-out kind of shooter. And he's been brilliant on the road. He hasn't shot that well at home, but on the road, he just makes everything.
Well, this is a guy that scored 57 points in a high school game a year ago, including his team's last 24. I think he's going to be a crowd favorite at Clemson.
Thomas is on him right now. Booker nearly threw it away. And DeMarcus Nelson nearly gets the steal. The Blue Devils still so young. Mike Krzyzewski wasn't sure what he had. Right now he's got a 14-1 team. The only loss is to Pitt, and they were pretty well muscled up down the stretch in that game. Rivers got such a silky smooth touch.
AC Rivers is a guy that not a lot of people outside of this conference talk about, but leading scorer a year ago. Remember, he was their sixth man as a sophomore.
Nelson goes baseline, got by Oglesby. Great body control by DeMarcus Nelson.
What makes him so good on a drive, Mike, is his strength. You saw an example right there.
Hammond's really pushing it down, and Rivers gets a wide open jumper. Can't hit it. Clemson keeping it alive. Loose ball. Rivers got away with a push-off and comes outside. Now Hammond's. So basically, they're going small to match up with Duke. Thomas, a really good defender on Rivers. Here's the double team on Booker. Throws it away. Paulus nearly got the steal and then kicked out of bounds by Hammond.
Mike Krzyzewski talked about double teaming Booker because of his strength inside. Booker, Mike, throughout the ACC is going to have to get used to that as he becomes a main weapon inside for Oliver Purnell. And
isn't it more so with Mays being injured because Booker's going to have to touch it more?
And I like that because Mays is a guy that can play on the backside and just clean up the offensive rebound.
And he is a physical specimen. Shire is in. Tremendous sixth man. Oh, nice shot.
Anytime they set up a pick and roll on the side, Nelson has the freedom to reject the screen and drive baseline.
Clemson by 2. Duke trying to trap. Good one here. Hammond's had to pick up his dribble and burn a timeout. Even if you don't turn it over, you force him to use the timeout. Excellent defense by Duke.
Man, that was brutal. I can't take another 9 like that. Hey, kitty.
Hi, boys. The usual.
Bra. Excuse me, could I get another granola bar?
You'll enjoy these.
What's that, 220?
Now they're ready?
Ready to get pounded. Again. Slazenger raw distance. Made to be pounded.
Tonight's game available on ESPN and amazing ESPN HD presented by Olivia. You want amazing? Duke doesn't have a rebound yet. 5-0 Clemson.
The story of this game is contrasting styles.
Singler with a nice step out, forcing the bad pass. Duke doing on defense exactly what it needs to do. Nolan Smith for 3. Comes into the ball game. First time he touches it, he drains one.
If you can't handle the strength inside of Clemson, you must really pressure these guards on the perimeter. Make it difficult to look inside.
Mays, tough cross-court bounce pass to Oglesby. Hammonds is open. Didn't want the shot.
You think Oglesby will get a lot of open looks tonight?
From 35, maybe. That's about it. Duke still without a rebound.
Boy.
Booker with a follow.
This guy is an animal, Mike. Very efficient.
Look at Smith. Nobody picked him up. Fran and I have both been licking our chops for this game. We knew this was going to be something. Look at Smith. And they're going to call Nolan Smith for a foul as he was dogging his man in backcourt. They came to play today. Duke by 1 over Clemson.
Since 1845, we've been taking care of the most important people in the world, so you can feel secure knowing that you've done the right thing by providing for their future. New York Life, the company you keep.
Instant gratification.
Carolina area. Don't drive anywhere tonight because the people you'll be meeting on the road have no clue.
Talk about Duke's offense, Mike. It's all about spacing, and they run wide. Take a look now on the steal as they come up the floor. Remember, they're usually playing with 4 perimeter guys. We run a guy to the corner, top of the key, bring the ball. Let's see what we got. Open look. They have no hesitation to shoot that shot. Nolan Smith, a precocious freshman.
Duke by 1, Clemson basketball.
They will not give Oglesby any breathing room.
Sykes. Love the way this kid plays.
He really stepped up when James Mays was hurt with the sprained hip in early December. And Mike, he did a great job defending Tyler Hansbrough.
Smith, nobody got on him again. You want to play defense against Smith like that, he'll get 30.
And you notice Duke is throwing some full court pressure at Clemson. Mike Krzyzewski told us this would be a diversionary tactic to keep the ball from getting inside easily.
And so far, it has worked very, very well. Didn't win all those games by accident, did he? Out of bounds, Clemson out to Duke. They are playing man-to-man and tramping defense about as well as you can right now. Lance Thomas, who missed a couple of games with a respiratory infection, is back and making a difference. Oliver Purnell pleading his case to no avail.
You see the floor is spread, Mike.
Smith kicks it out wide open. DeMarcus Nelson.
Duke's offense is to get a piece of the paint off the dribble. That contracts Clemson and opens up the three-point line.
Duke has hit 7 of 9 shots. Bad pass. If you're Duke, if you're Clemson, what do you do to counter what Duke is doing to them?
You've got to move the ball and be patient. But here's a take a look. Take a look now as Duke gets a piece of the paint. That opens up the three-point line for Nelson. But you're right, Mike. You can't go on the first side all the time because that's where the defense is strongest. There must be some ball reversal back and forth. The problem is Duke takes away the reversal as well.
McClure kicks it out to Shire, back to King. You want a guy who's got a stroke. He missed that one, but here's a foul underneath as McClure had great position and was pushed. Kentucky and Florida coming up Saturday prime time, presented by DirecTV. That's a 9 Eastern start, a big SEC rivalry.
Billy Donovan starting 2 freshmen that the country needs to take a look at. Jay Lucas, John Sun, and Nick Calathis, a 6'7" point guard.
Henderson, fouled by Casey Rivers. It's only the 3rd team foul on Clemson. As intense as this game has been, it's been very clean. Foul away from the ball. That's going to be an illegal screen.
Mike, you did the Florida State game on Wednesday night, and you remember how much success Florida State had in attacking Duke off the dribble.
Absolutely. Mays airmails one behind Sykes. And Clemson right now, the body language isn't very good. Guys making mistakes and hanging their heads. 6 turnovers. Here's one going the other way. Stitt.
Yep.
Kicked it out of bounds. 7 turnovers.
Where Clemson can't hurt Duke is they don't have the type of guard that can break this Duke defense down like we saw on Wednesday with Rich and Swan and Ralph Mims.
Yeah, they had 3 guys who could get inside. But it looks like Duke is playing a little more with a little more intensity tonight as well. Henderson, jump stop in the lane. Jump ball called by Mike Wood. Possession arrow gives it back to Duke. Really good officiating crew headed by Mike Wood this afternoon. Inbound, Shire.
Shire gives you that juice off the bench, and he's still playing 28 minutes a game. You know, our younger fans don't remember John Havlicek of the Boston Celtics, but that's sort of who he plays like.
Stitt into the lane. And that's a good call. Looked more like a flop than anything else.
If Duke is going to take away your ball reversal in front the post, the one way to get into the paint is off the dribble. And Stitt's a freshman. He gets a little bit out of control, but this is a good play right here. You must attack the paint with the dribble, but be under control.
Yeah, McClure not only flopped, he was moving when he did it. And here is where Clemson has really hurt itself at the free throw line. They are a dreadful free throw shooting team, and ironically, they're better than they were last year.
Well, they were dreadful last year. They're just bad this year.
Yeah. No, I think they're still dreadful. I don't know what the word was for last year. They were last in the country.
Well, the 2 freshmen, Stitt and Oglesby, have helped that free throw percentage. So Oliver Purnell's recruited 2 kids who are shooting over 80%. That'll help a little bit.
Yes, it will. Paulus back in at the point. Clemson down by 4. Henderson, Paulus, good ball movement. Shire wide open. And Shire is fouled by Stitt. Big mistake by the freshman going out and fouling a guy and giving him 3 shots at the free throw line. We'll go streaking when we come back.
These days, it seems like they're trying to protect us from everything. Roll-On protects us from odor. Coffee has a warning label. This is hot. You think we're missing the point? Let's just keep our eye on the big ball. Protect us from the things that matter.
Quality and safety. Both can be yours with $1,000 cash back on a 2007 Santa Fe.
123warm.com. Need heat? 123warm.com. Even cooling? 123warm.com. Want cleaner air? 123warm.com. Call Tri-County Temp Control today for your Northwest comfort system. It's hard to stop a train.
Walk right in, sit right down. Baby, lay your hair hang down. Walk right in, sit right down. Baby, don't you wait so long. Lay your hair hang down. Ooh. Baby, lay your hair hang down. Relax, you're at Great Clips.
123warm.com. Need heat? 123warm.com. Even cooling? 123warm.com. Want cleaner air? 123warm.com. Call Tri-County Temp Control today for your Northwest comfort system. It's hard to stop a train.
Take you back to last year, January 25th at Duke after Vernon Hamilton cut Duke's lead to 3. The game clock did not start properly as Hammond stole the inbounds pass and hit a 3-pointer after the officials reviewed the clock. They put just enough time to go the length of the floor and score at the buzzer. At 68-66 win was Duke's 21st straight over Clemson. The longest streak in college basketball. John Wooden owned Cal. Of course, he rented everybody else. 23 straight Tennessee against Kentucky. And in football, 36 straight against Kansas. And when Fran saw this graphic, he said, well, Kansas at least got him back this year. He scored in the 70s. course, they'd have to score in the 70th for about 10 straight years just
You're right.
to think about getting even.
I think it was that Kansas scored 76 points on Nebraska in the whole decade of the 70s when Bob Devaney and Tom Osborne were coaching.
Yeah. 4-55. You saw the all-time record. Series started in 1925, so Clemson wins a game here about every 20 years, whether they lead it or not. Shire at the line.
You know, it's interesting, though. I think the last win here, January 4th, 1995, Rick Barnes' first year, but also the game that Mike Krzyzewski took the leave of absence. The next trip to Georgia Tech, he didn't make it, and he took the rest of the season.
Shire with that nice stroke. That's 21-14.
You know, it's hard to believe with Shire, the 7th all-time leading freshman scorer under Mike Krzyzewski, and that includes guys like Johnny Dawkins and Mark Allery.
He's had some pretty good ones, hasn't he?
Yes, he has.
Hammonds is back in. Has yet to have an impact in this game. Drives. Can't get the roll. Tip no good. Rivers tips. Another tip. And Shire comes out with it. Duke's getting killed on the boards, but they're still up by 7.
You've got to capitalize if you're going to go to the glass like that.
Shire, what body control. He knew there was going to be contact. He leaned into it, kept his eye on the rim. He has 7 off the bench. Mays had it knocked away from behind. Nobody helped Mays. Nobody called out. Shire open. Holy cow, Oliver Purnell needs to stop this.
You talk about a lift off the bench.
He did this in the first half against FSU. He came in off the bench and just lit him up like a Christmas tree.
You know, the great thing about this program is there's such a legacy that is left behind. So as Shire comes in and Mike Krzyzewski asks him to make the move to the 6-man spot, you're talking about guys like David Henderson, Grant Hill, Thomas Hill, Corey Maggette, Mike Dunleavy. So there's always someone in this program that you can emulate. And that's,
can you imagine Grant Hill as a 6th man for anything? Blue Devils have hit 10 out of 14 shots. They are, having seen them several times already this year, I'll tell you what, this is the most impressive 9 minutes I've seen them play all year long. They are doing everything right except rebounding, and they haven't had to.
And you see the pressure. They're throwing this press out there so that Clemson has something else to deal with before they try to attack the paint.
Like to get Oglesby free for something.
Oh, I like this kid.
Booker got it.
Oh, yeah.
He's a man.
Yes, he is. Mr. Basketball 2 years ago in South Carolina. Had a really good freshman year, double figures.
Last 5 games, 21 points a game, shooting 2 out of 3. Thomas with a miss, had it blocked by Booker, and a foul on Booker. Look at the arms on that guy. 26-16. Lance Thomas at the line. Sophomore from Scotch Plains, New Jersey. You're from up there. Where's Scotch Plains?
You know what? It's northern Jersey. He played for Danny Hurley, Bob Hurley's brother at St. Benedict's.
Men's and women's college basketball Monday on ESPN and ESPN2 at 7 Eastern on ESPN. Syracuse against that powerful Georgetown club. And at ESPN2 at 7, 2 of the best teams in the women's game. Number 3 North Carolina goes up to play number 1 UConn. That will be a beauty.
UConn has been racked with major injuries, but they've got some outstanding young players. Moore and Charles.
Big hand for Thomas as he'll get a breather. Mike Krzyzewski with a lot of depth this year, something he didn't have in last year's 22-11 season.
He seemed to us to be really excited about this game because he wanted to see how his team would react to probably the biggest team he's played this year.
Yep. And I think Oliver Purnell was in the same mindset. How was this team going to do on the road in their first big test? Because they played the 3 conference games right at home.
That's right.
Duke with 19 points off the bench, most of it courtesy of Shire. And there's Mays wearing that big brace. He said it's like playing with an oven mitt on his left hand. And he has just been devastated by injuries all year long. One of them, the hip, continues to bother him. At one point, they were even afraid that he was going to have surgery on the hip.
I was actually at Clemson the next game, and they weren't sure if he wasn't out for the year.
Booker into the lane. Nice dump down. No layup, but a foul. As Sam Perry, who has been rarely used this year, has played a lot defensively. But here's what's happened to Mays. Had very severe back spasms, then had a sty in his eye. They had to tape it open. The sprained left hip and a fractured left hand. He's still playing with the bad hip because he fell yesterday and re-injured it. Last foul was on Singler. And Perry, really for Clemson, a 64% free throw shooter, he's not bad. They have some guys, you know, that old line, you can't throw it in the ocean standing in a boat.
What Oliver Purnell has right now, Perry, Mays, and Hammonds, that's his first recruiting class. And you talk about 3 guys that took a chance on a program that was down. So even though Perry has been hurt, he comes in and tries to give them a little juice.
And Oliver Purnell has been a winner wherever he has gone. You don't get 20-win seasons at 4 different schools by not knowing exactly what you're doing.
And rebuilding every one of them.
Right.
And that takes substance, Mike.
Yeah, it's not like he walked in and had a championship team waiting for him everywhere either.
Exactly. See how they spaced the floor. That's murder.
Singler had a good look, couldn't hit it. Perry kicks it out to Hammonds. Clemson really needs to get the ball inside and get a couple of those easy buckets. It's the key to their offense.
Problem is it has to happen mostly off the dribble.
And Hammonds is about the only one who can do that.
Nice.
Good pass, Sykes.
Started with Booker because he read the double team and he stretched it by taking both defenders away from the basket, and that opened up the lane.
8:55 to go first half. 9-point lead and a foul as DeMarcus Nelson started his drive.
This is really good basketball right here. Now watch how Booker will take both defenders away from the basket. That spreads the floor and opens up the lane for the little 2-on-1 opportunity. Very well done.
Hammond's got the assist. He's actually #1 in the ACC in assist-to-turnover ratio, even though he has given up the point guard spot to the freshman Stitt.
I think he's Stitt's security blanket.
Yeah. Sykes, bad pass. Henderson.
What a jump he's made from his freshman year to this year.
30-19. No basket, but a foul. Henderson tried to draw the charge. Picks up the personal instead as Perry goes inside.
What I like about that is if you can't move the Duke defense side to side with the pass, when they deny, they can't take away the dribble either, so that's a good decision by the senior.
Hammonds, this is hard to believe. He's a 43% three-point shooter. He is shooting 36% from the free throw line.
I have never been able to understand that.
No, he ought to ask one of his own teammates to guard him in the circle. He'd hit some. I mean, they are so bad from the free throw line, and it's 10%, 12% better than it was a year ago. That was the worst percentage in the history of the Atlantic Coast Conference.
By the way,
I don't blame the coaches for that. I blame the kids. I blame the kids for not working hard enough to do that.
Before they get to Clemson, is that what you're saying?
Everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, if there is nothing to being a good free throw shooter except technique and practice, period. I mean, think of it. Nobody's guarding you. There's just no excuse for it. And it's awful to watch.
Sometimes as a coach, the more you practice it, the worse they get.
Thomas missed point blank Out of bounds to Duke.
Thomas is one of those glue guys. If he can give them a couple baskets a game, will really take some pressure off the perimeter. We mentioned St. Benedict's up in northern Jersey. The connection to the Hurley family.
Right.
Coach was Danny Hurley, who played at Seton Hall, but the brother of one of Duke's greats.
Smith with a runner. Offensive foul, Nolan Smith. It's already been some day in the ACC. 30-19. Duke with an 11-point lead. More when we come back.
Hi, I'm Shirley.
And I'm Lonnie, and this is our story. We travel around the country square dancing.
It's our life.
Yeah.
We love it.
It keeps you active, but you do have the aches and pains.
Sometimes when we're dancing, the next morning we just can't hardly get out of bed because, you know, it's arthritis again. I switched to a leave when his doctor told us about it. I was amazed.
And it helps.
Take a leave, we can go dancing that night, too.
And you get to go around the square and hug the girls. That's why we square dance, so we can hug the ladies.
What?
When we have new Asian garlic shrimp and new fire grilled tequila lime shrimp, not to mention Red Lobster classics like shrimp scampi and hand-breaded shrimp, it's not fair to make you choose just one. So we won't. Right now, pair the two that you like best together. From our new creations to classic favorites. All served with warm Cheddar Bay biscuits and fresh salad. For a short time only at Red Lobster. Come see what's fresh today.
Instant gratification has us in a stranglehold. So much so that we don't want to fix things anymore. Just replace them. Don't like your nose? Get a new one. Don't like your job? Get a new one. Don't like your spouse? Get a new one. Whatever happened to commitment?
The 2008 Sonata, ready for the long haul with America's best warranty and $1,000 cash back.
So I asked my dad where he wanted to go for his 60th birthday. Norway, he said, the land of our ancestors. We drank a pint at Ibsen's favorite pub. We sampled the local fare. We got new sweaters.
I feel like yodeling.
It was the trip of a lifetime, Dad said, until we went to the Hall of Records and discovered we were actually Swedish. 2 tickets to Stockholm, please?
Whatever your story is, your Citi card can help you write it. Citi, let's get it done.
The Crazies were already in their seat this afternoon, and they were watching this on television monitors all over the place as Tyler Hansbrough missed a desperation 3 with 1.8 seconds to go to seal Maryland's upset win in Chapel Hill. And the Clemson fans and the Duke fans made peace long enough to high-five each other. So Maryland knocks off North Carolina, and the Terps have had a lousy season so far. Booker was 61 points in his last 2 games. He has been on fire, and he's going to be the key for the rest of this game for this Clemson Tiger Club. They've got to get him the basketball.
Hey, Mike, don't forget 3-0 BC goes to Virginia tonight, so they have a special interest in this outcome as well.
BC amazed me there. And nice play by Perry as he slashed down the lane, and Mays gave him the ball uncontested. So out of a timeout, Clemson finds a way to get a basket inside and get it easily.
Mays is really a good passer for a guy who's gets a lot of attention inside, also plays with one hand. And it's interesting, you mentioned early in the game about Clemson going small. David Potter now at the 4. And they've done this year. They're kind of now matching down to Duke, and Potter's a very good shooter.
Thomas at the line. Henderson tried to keep it alive, but Sam Perry has the rebound. The lead is 9. Mike Patrick, Fran Fraschilla, our entire ESPN crew. Glad you could join us tonight. Singler with a reach-in. Hammonds with a poor pass. And Singler partially blocked by Mays, but he got the roll anyway.
Talk to Tom Crean, the coach at Marquette, who this team beat in Maui in the final, and he said Singler is a much better defender than people realize. A good example right there. See him move his feet.
He's a lot quicker than he looks.
Yep.
Rivers. Oh, what a tip by Perry to keep it alive, and then Rivers is there to put it in. When Rivers was in the backcourt, I thought he was the best rebounding guard in the country. Nelson slashes in. No basket, foul before the shot.
Here's a good example, Mike. Keep your eye on this Clemson backboard now. You see Rivers keeps it alive, and this is where you gotta eat today if you're the Clemson Tigers off the offensive glass.
Potter picked up the foul. It was his second. Oglesby is going to come back in. They'd love to get him untracked. He's a guy that can get you back in a game in a hurry. Shire is back in for Mike Krzyzewski. There's Oglesby, the young man who, when they were scouting for freshman shooters, they said he was the best guy we saw anywhere in the country coming out of high school.
Comes out of the same part of Tennessee as Lee Humphrey, who had a great 4-year career for Billy Donovan down in Gainesville. Amazing how much it makes your offense better when you have a guy that can stretch the defense, huh?
46% three-point shooter in high school. And he's one of those guys who's got that shooter's mentality. Never saw one he didn't like.
See, Duke's full court pressure has not only caused some turnovers, but it really takes them out of their rhythm in the half court.
Hammond. Oh, he's just being dogged. Look at this. Had to pick up his dribble 35 feet away from the basket. Oglesby, he's being dogged. Duke's just everywhere. Good ball movement there, and Mays, beautiful move.
You're going to get trapped at half court. 2-on-1, it becomes 4-on-3 in your advantage everywhere on the floor.
Paulus.
Big possession, Mike.
Hammonds pushes it to Oglesby. No look pass. Beautiful pass by Oglesby. A guy who's known as a shooter makes a great connection.
Just the fact that you have to go out to him in transition opens up the paint.
Great point. And it's 34-27. Singler held on the way in.
And this is sort of why Duke is effective this year. But watch this. When you have to get out to Oglesby, look at Paulus leave the lane. And that leaves Booker open right down the lane.
And Booker can finish with anybody.
Yes, he can. I believe one of the reasons they gave Tyler Hansborough so much trouble, we only had 12 points in that game, is Booker's ability to make Hansborough run the floor and tire him out.
Singler knocks down the free throw. Been the ACC Rookie of the Week 3 times already. Some great young players in this league. (36-27). Blue Devils have hit 9 out of 10 at the line so far. Clemson 3 of 6. Stitt is back in.
Hey, they have
Henderson and Nelson.
Yep, no problem trapping them.
Booker on the way in. Henderson knocks it away.
If you're Oliver Purnell, as soon as you can get that ball out of the trap, take it to the rim. Make Duke pay for picking you up at half court.
Absolutely. They haven't done it enough today, and that's Duke's game plan. Nearly a poor exchange there. Shot clock is down to 5. Booker gives it up, puts Mays in a horrible spot. There's just no way a big man should give the ball to another big man with 3 seconds on the shot clock. It's like, I'm not screwing it up. Here, you take it. The 11th turnover.
Patrick Ewing, when he played for the Knicks, when he couldn't get a shot with the shot clock running down, used to kick it out to his guards, and they used to get mad at him because they always had to take low percentage shots.
Yep. Make you look bad.
Yeah.
Henderson.
Yep.
Oh, nice. Well, he was drawing up the play on the court and then executed it. That was beautiful.
We used to say, don't drive baseline. That has totally gone out the window in modern basketball.
Oglesby, another nice pass inside, and Booker with the basket. So Oglesby trying to show people, hey, I'm more than just a shooter, and he has on 2 possessions. That was a nice dish.
Really was. See, this is what we talked about. You must break down the Duke defense off the dribble. And when you get into the paint, that will open the baseline up for Sykes and Booker.
Henderson picks up his 2nd foul. Booker, actually a pretty good free throw shooter. 70% from the line. Well, I sort of had a feeling that wasn't going in, didn't you?
Pretty good is relative, right?
That's right. 8 points, 5 rebounds for Booker here in the first half. Singler. Clemson trying to ratchet up the defense a little bit at the 4:22 mark. Wallace. Rivers 2-on-2, and Hammonds. Boy, I like that kid.
Sure, solid as a rock. 4 years. How about a double major in architecture and psychology?
Does that mean you understand why you build the buildings? 38-31. Mike Krzyzewski unhappy about the call. More college basketball tonight on ESPN. We have an SEC rivalry coming your way. 9 o'clock Eastern, Kentucky and Florida. Saturday prime time, presented by DirecTV. Last foul was on DeMarcus Nelson. That was his first. Oglesby. Against North Carolina, he missed 6 or 7 shots. They all looked like they were going to go in. He's got a great stroke. So does King for Duke. Although King has certainly not been a factor in this game.
There's the drive.
Nelson with Hammonds on him. Singler missed out of the corner. Oglesby.
Nelson gets to the middle of the floor as good as anybody in college basketball.
Booker will try to extend his range and clanks one off the right side of the rim.
Remember, he had no threes until 3 games ago. He's made 5 out of 10 coming into tonight.
I don't think Oliver Purnell is trying to set up his long-range shooting, though.
That's called fool's gold, Mike.
That's right. Oglesby off balance. Tough shot. He knocked it down.
If Clemson can build their program where they win yearly, Oglesby will become one of those J.J. Redick guys that's despised in other arenas in this league.
And I tell you what, I think he's got the talent to do it, too, and the moxie to face up to it. Clemson on a 6-0 run. They have cut the lead to 5. This is one thing Redick worked hard on. The last couple of years he was in college to become not just a standstill jump shooter, to give him his game some dimension, and it made him an All-American.
Absolutely. That's what Oglesby already does for a freshman.
Last couple of ball games, well, he has been tough. And Oliver Purnell, as Fran discussed earlier, took over a program here that was struggling, that most people, even with the success of Rick Barnes, which you were so familiar with at Clemson, thought this was unsustainable year after year. Well, Oliver Purnell is trying to change that equation.
You know, there are guys like Oliver Purnell in our business that I mentioned substance before. And when you've been an assistant for Lefty Driesell, and you played at Old Dominion like he did, and then you built 4 programs, you got the patience to withstand all the negative things that come with that, the losing, the self-doubt. He doesn't have that, Mike. He's a really solid, good basketball coach.
.225 to go first half. Singler started his move into the paint and lost the ball. Big possession for Clemson. They're only down by 5. They weathered the storm. Oglesby, what a pass. What a beautiful pass. You don't think this kid has a future? 2:09 to go first half. Duke by 5, but Clemson making a run.
The versatile XC90 from Volvo.
Lease a 2008 Volvo XC90 for $389 a month for 24 months.
Do you feel something moving? What is that? Look at... The belt is moving. Ground, do you copy? Those guys are riding that thing.
Winter X Games 12. The Mountain comes to life January 24th, live on ESPN and AP.
Now Izzy's Dinner Buffet stars New York steak, along with cedar plank salmon, fire-roasted veggies, and slow-smoked pork loin with our Oregon cherry ginger sauce. Philly cheesesteak pizza is back for an encore, while pear walnut and other favorites take center stage on the salad bar. And for dessert, try our tempting made-from-scratch cupcakes. New York steak, appearing nightly at Izzy's, where we serve steak, cedar plank salmon, pizza, and a whole lot more.
Live from Portland, Monday, January 21st at 2 p.m., the Portland Winterhawks face off in a U.S. Division battle against the Spokane Chiefs. Check out some of the brightest stars in the Western Hockey League. Monday at 2 p.m. on Comcast Sportsnet. Game on. Live from San Jose, Tuesday, January 22nd at 7:30 p.m., Patrick Kane and the Chicago Blackhawks face off against Joe Thornton and the San Jose Sharks in a Western Conference battle. Catch all the action Tuesday night at 7:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. Game on.
Scott Reese in our college basketball studios. Coming up on the UPS halftime report, another of the unbeatens goes down. North Carolina stunned at home by Maryland. The Terps have won 4 of their last 7 against #1 teams. You think that's the only upset today? Think again. All kinds of top 25 teams in trouble. We'll tell you who they were on this day of impact. It's all coming up just a few minutes from now. Mike?
What a fun afternoon it had to be for Gary Williams.
You think Hubert Davis has got the long face?
The ties never dissolve, do they? Clemson has out-rebounded Duke by 10 so far in this game. That's why they're still within 5 points. Smith turned it over. Palmed the ball. The top 10 was not a safe place to be this afternoon. Maryland over North Carolina. UCLA knocked off by USC, and Kansas State just crushed A&M.
It's early in the year, but I've had a chance to see Kansas a number of times. And I said that right now I think they're the best team in the country.
Do you?
Yes, depth, balance, and some experience.
I have only seen parts of a couple of their games. They sure look good. Booker into a double team. Tip won't go. Booker.
How about him, Mike?
He's just unstoppable.
Yep. The young guy that Oliver Purnell put in the starting lineup as a freshman, all ACC freshman. Now one of the best post players in the league.
And Duke has no answer to Booker. There's nobody that matches up with his size and determination inside. Duke's lead cut to 3. Clemson with 13 of 16 field goals in the paint today. Turnover. Shire hustled back, forced a bad pass. Credit Shire with that. Smith kicks it out. Singler. Got the big 3.
Once again, Smith gets a piece of the paint. Clemson sucks in. Open look.
Ever since the three-point rule came into effect, Mike Krzyzewski was one of the first who went, you know what, we can really exploit this. Oglesby, speaking of exploiting something.
Gave that little head shake to the Cameron Crazies, too.
Maybe he watched JJ do it.
A few times.
Yeah. 41-38. Duke playing for the last shot of the first half, and what a half it has been. Smith, good crossover, dribble, and he drained it. Nolan Smith starting to come of age as well as a point. Clemson finally gets a three. Duke with the lead. They have won 21 in a row against Clemson at home. Will they make it 20-22, or will Clemson snap the streak? The score at halftime, 43-38. Let's join Scott Reese in the studio for the UPS halftime report.
Okay, Mike, somewhat dangerous to be a top 10 team today. Duke hanging on up 5 at the break. Welcome in, everybody, with the coach, Tom Brennan, and Gottlieb. And, Coach, what did you see in that first 20 minutes?
Well, the thing that jumped out at me, Scotty, was the fact that Duke was up 30-18 with about 10 minutes to go, and I thought maybe this is the end, but they did not go away. The Clemson Tigers I'm speaking of. Now it's a ball game and anybody's game.
Yeah, you better box out James Mays if you want to win and not end up on Jim Gems, as I believe a couple of Dukies will be. But the thing that jumps out to me is that this is a different Duke team. You add a Nolan Smith, you add a Kyle Singler. I think it's a more athletic team. In the past, going back to last year, look at the Florida States and the Clemsons that at time gave them difficulty pressuring the basketball. It's different this year because they have so many ball handlers and a little bit of added athleticism.
This is a good Clemson team. Free throw shooting is their bugaboo. We'll see if that becomes a factor in the second.
I feel them.
And Duke is their bugaboo.
Lots of good stuff ahead on the UPS halftime report. North Carolina, unbeaten, #1 in the land, goes down. And what about UCLA?
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Volvo, who believes that life is better lived together. Volvo for life.
Got it wrong, boys.
Happy anniversary pudding.
The always punctual S80 from Volvo.
Lease a 2008 Volvo S80 for $379 a month for 24 months.
Hey, if we get their pizza Monday before 5 and say Cheesemeister, it's $5.
Dude, Pizza Hut's new Pizza Mia's are just $5 every day. Cheesemeister.
Forget coupons. A great deal is simple with Pizza Hut's new Pizza Mia. Made with whole milk mozzarella and sauce from vine-ripened tomatoes. $5 never tasted so good. Just $5 each every day for 3 or more one-topping Pizza Mia pizzas. Get more, not less. Pizza Hut. Order online.
Red 88. And now another priceless pep talk from Peyton Manning.
Bummed about football season coming to an end? Well, cheer up. There's plenty to look forward to. Like, well, it's always, you know what? I'm bummed too. Guess I'll see you next fall.
And this has been another priceless pep talk from Peyton Manning. Go to priceless.com for a personalized pep talk you can send to a friend.
I love poetry.
I love poetry.
Byron, Keats. I write a little too.
I'd love to see some of your stuff.
Will you tell her about Indiana's young talent? Tell her. She doesn't want to hear about Indiana. Look at her. She wants to hear how North Carolina dominates the boards.
Hey, I didn't know you were a poet. There's a lot you don't know about me.
Just tell her about Indiana.
Become one with college basketball. College Game Day, driven by State Farm. This Saturday at 11 a.m. on ESPN and 8 p.m. on ESPN2.
This is the UPS Halftime Report.
In case you missed it, here it is. #1 North Carolina. Roy Williams boys unbeaten heading into today's tilt with Maryland. Tyler Hansbrough quiet in the first half, started to come alive in these second 20 minutes. Working hard, and the foul. We get a 1-point game.
Offensive rebounds were a key for Carolina. 21-6 advantage over Maryland.
Redshirt freshman Will Graves knocking down the triple.
If you knew who Will Graves was before this game, please stand up.
Good for him. Danny Green taking it strong. He's been big for this Carolina team. It's a 4-point lead, but Maryland would not go away. Gravis Vasquez, how about 12 points and 11 assists?
Kind of a Phillip Rivers type game, too, where he's hitting shots and talking a little trash.
Hansbrough, tough deuce down low, ties it at 80. It is crunch time. Final 30 seconds, and Bombali Osby with position. gathers, scores the go-ahead bucket.
Hansbrough got caught in the screen there, and he didn't get back to guard Osby, and he went over the smaller green.
Last chance for Carolina. Hansbrough off iron, no good. Maryland pulls the upset on the road, and Roy Williams not a happy camper.
We didn't do a good job in the post defense. We didn't help down from the front. We didn't stop the penetration. And then on the offensive end, we didn't have very good movement. And a lot of times we got pretty good shots, but we didn't make them. And like I say, I've done a poor job with this basketball team, and we got to get better.
So number 1 goes down at home. What about number 4, UCLA? Kevin Love versus O.J. Mayo as these L.A. area rivals collide. And early on, it's Mayo from the corner this early in the second half, and really absent in the first half, didn't hit a field goal, came alive after halftime.
He did indeed, and the thing that shocked me about this game, Scott, was the fact that USC shot 60% for the game against what I believe is the best defensive team in the country.
You saw Josh Shipp look at that 3, and then great outlet to Russell Westbrook. Bruins back up 1. You figure, all right, they've righted the ship. They're going to open this thing up. How about Love showing off the range?
Yeah, he does it all. There's no question about it. Totally complete player. And he, it's never he and Mayo. He was on a better team, or supposedly better team, just not today.
14 of Mayo's 16 after the break. We're all tied up. Davon Jefferson, a man-child for the Trojans.
He was the key.
24 points. Remember, was held out of the Washington State game because he didn't make the cut. Coach Floyd, think he made the cut tonight?
USC wins at Pauley 72-63. So here you have a couple of likely number 1 seeds, guys, in the NCAA tournament, both losing on the same day at home, no less. Which one surprises you more?
Well, the fact that they both lost, it doesn't surprise me terribly, but the fact that they both lost at home surprises me terribly. And I really am more surprised at USC because of the fact that UCLA just didn't guard them. They shot 60% from the field, as I mentioned. So to me, that's a bigger upset.
I don't know. Look, I understand that it's USC in the name, but USC has a ton of talent. They were yet to gel until a game like this afternoon. For Carolina to lose to a 7-loss Maryland team, and look, Maryland has a national championship coach, a guy who's done amazing things in his alma mater. But this is a team that lost to American and Ohio at home to come in, and you talked about not guarding anybody. I mean, this is a team that shoots 12 for 27. Talk about Maryland on the road in the second half, 15 for 18 from the free throw line. The reason was they got a lot of shots right around the basket. They were unable to control Grievous Vasquez, 12-11, sliced him and diced him in the second half. They only turned Maryland over 2 times in the second half. That's a product of Maryland playing well, but the defense just not being there for North Carolina.
And Gary Williams has beaten a number 1 team 7 times in his career, and he's 4-3 in his last 7 attempts.
They are giant killers, no question. Be interesting to see if today vaults both those schools, Maryland and USC, back into their respective conference races. Oh, but there's more upsets. Yes, sir. It is a week of impact. Today was a day of impact, and you can just ask Texas A&M about that because they got smoked by Texas Tech earlier in the week. Today, K-State got him, and Michael Beasley was Michael Beasley.
Yes, he was. But Billy Walker had 4 or 6 threes, I believe. He was a monster today as well.
4 or 6?
4 or 6.
Close enough.
We'll give 5.
Hey, listen. I'm just telling you, you're not going into Bramlage and getting wins easy, and the reason is Billy Walker has found a home. Moving to the 4th spot, a dominant player at the college level, and the place was absolutely rocking. And then you work it inside to Beasley, a little 6'11" fadeaway. Hey, listen, they haven't beaten Kansas at home since Ronald Reagan's first term in office, but it could happen this year.
Really, an off day for Beasley. 21 points, 4 rebounds, but it got the job done as the captain.
How about Mick Cronin?
How about Mick Cronin? What a job he's done at Cincinnati. Already 4 league wins for him?
Yep.
And only had 2 all of last year.
And maybe this is the delayed post-traumatic stress for Pittsburgh. We all expected that slide after they lost Levance Fields and Mike Cook. Gerald Henderson leading the Dukies charge. A topsy-turvy first half at Cameron. Much more from the studio coming up right after this.
This halftime report is delivered by UPS. What can Brown do for you?
Okay, delivery intercept. Well, say you just shipped the package to New York and it's on its way, and your customer calls and says, hey, I gotta run down to D.C. for a few days. Well, now what? Well, what if you could intercept the package and have it sent back? Or better yet, reroute it to D.C. Well, you'd have those options if you shipped with UPS. It's not just delivery, it's UPS Delivery Intercept. Feel good. Cherry blossoms are out.
versatile XC90 from Volvo.
Lease a 2008 Volvo XC90 for $389 a month for 24 months.
Okay, people, time to rock and roll. Your stocks are up, your stocks are down. We have 5 emails. The first one is from Alexandra.
Rise and shine, short one. Kung Fu today.
Thanks, Sven.
Okay, just to recap our schedules.
List called.
Thanks, Sven. Forecast as cold today, so bundle up. Let's move it along. Let's rock and roll.
If you can't get a Sven in 2008, get one of these exclusive AT&T smartphones. It'll keep you and your family organized. Just $99.99, only from AT&T.
This lush expanse of green does more than beautify our world. Trees help clean the air of carbon dioxide, a major greenhouse gas. As North America's largest recycler, last year alone, Waste Management recycled enough paper to save over 41 million trees. How's that for thinking green? From everyday collection to environmental protection, think green. Think Waste Management.
You could have leftovers again, or a 3-course meal starting at $9.99.
Get to Applebee's now for the 3-course classics, and you choose entree, appetizer, and dessert, starting at $9.99.
Applebee's, get it together, baby.
This Friday, the first great action movie of the year is here.
When you're pushed, killing's easy.
Stallone.
Rambo, rated R. In theaters Friday.
Winter X Games 12 coming down the pipe in Aspen. Watch for your favorite action heroes, Shaun White, Hannah Teeter, Chris Baran, and Tora Bright. 3 brand spanking new events, and all this X magic will happen for the first time in HD. Winter X Games 12, January 24th through 27th, live on ESPN and ABC.
This halftime report is delivered by UPS. What can Brown do for you?
What are we watching for tonight? Prime time on ESPN, 9 Eastern. The game day crew is in Gainesville for Kentucky and Florida.
2 gentlemen for Florida spurned Kentucky's advances. Not only Billy Donovan, but also Jay Lucas nearly went there. Trust me, if he was playing for the Wildcats, they'd be in the top 15.
Check this out. The Gators have won 6 in a row against Kentucky. That is the longest active win streak against the Cats. Soon to be 7. Pretty good ball game in Knoxville. Ohio State, Tennessee. Bruce Pearl sporting the, I guess it's taupe today. We'll go with that. Ramar Smith.
He said he gets it off the rack at Dillard's. We'll plug for Dillard's on the radio.
Chris Lofton, only 3 of the game. And here's Ramar once again. Down the lane. And the foul. He had a dozen.
They just attack and attack and attack. Relentless offensively.
Here's Jawan Smith.
If you get production from the Smiths alone, just anybody named Smith, you're in good shape.
It's like the witness protection program. They can't really all be named Smith. 11 straight for Tennessee. 10 points in the first half for Trevor Booker. Tigers with a little work to do. Back to Cameron for the second half next.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors. And Mucinex breaks up the mucus that causes congestion. Mucinex in, mucus out.
Mitsubishi Outlander. Hop in. It's go time.
No one comes into our house and pushes us around. Whose house is this? Mucus's house!
When mucus huddles in your chest, the congestion doesn't quit.
Whose house? Mucus's house!
That's why there's Mucinex. Mucinex is specially made to break up mucus that causes congestion.
Not now! It's a blowout!
And only Mucinex lasts for 12 hours.
Can we play at your house?
Mucinex in, mucus out.
Whoa, I didn't see that coming.
It's a crunchy hot wing with no sauce.
But it's still got all the kick.
Sauceless and crunchy, it's amazing.
In a split second, everything that I knew about hot wings has changed. In this new wing world, anything is possible.
Will you go out with me?
Yes.
Didn't see that coming.
Crunchy on the outside, spicy on the inside. The sauceless hot wing is at KFC. Get a bucket of 20 or try 6 wings for $2.99. Only at KFC.
My thumb used to be all flabby-like, but just look at it now.
My neighbor said, Ron, your index finger looks great. What's your secret? So I told him.
Introducing Scratchercise. It's more than just exercise. It's the fun, easy way to get toned fingers and totally ripped thumbs. Just scratch those Oregon Lottery scratches for great results.
Thanks, Scratchercise.
Lottery games are based on chance and should be played for entertainment only, not investment purposes.
Hey, fellas, we got a little situation. The rat's gotten to the high speed again.
How do we slow them back down?
We could feed them DSL.
Relax, they're harmless.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Are you sure you're sure?
Mm-hmm.
On a scale from 1 to 10.
6.
Comcast high-speed internet with Power Boost. Faster than DSL, faster than ever.
I'm on business. I don't take it personal when it's me versus you. I'm on business. Man, I came here for one thing, to do what I do. I'm on business.
It's a major winter storm coming to the Triangle area of North Carolina, but it was white hot inside in the first half as Duke leads Clemson 43-38. Mike Patrick, Fran Fraschilla, glad you could join us for what has been a great game. And as you pointed out earlier, a test of wills between two very good but different basketball teams.
You're right, Mike. Both teams are shooting over 50% from the field, but they're doing it in different ways. Clemson is pounding the offensive glass, and Duke is doing it with three-point shooting and also transition. They spread the floor, knock down the three. They love to drive it, kick it out, get a piece of the paint. Singler knocks it down, and then for Clemson, it's been pound the boards, attack the rim, and it's been Trevor Booker, the sophomore, who has really been a handful for Mike Krzyzewski's team.
First half stats, Clemson shoots 53%, Duke 58, and Clemson has thrown away 5 points at the free throw line, only 3 out of 8. But look at the rebounding difference, 29. And still, Duke leads 43-38.
14 different players have scored. If you saw that graphic, and in a gym like this where it's hot, the style of plays are up and down. It's a war of attrition.
Still cleaning up a spill on the opposite side of the court in front of the press row. "21 straight wins against Clemson." And you want to know Clemson's frustration? They started playing in basketball against the Triangle area schools in 1925. 1925. Since then, they are 15-152 in the Triangle. 15 wins. That's it. The last tournament appearance, 98. It's been really a struggle for them. Last winning record in the ACC, you have to go back all the way to 97.
Well, that's why you admire the job that Oliver Purnell has done. 25 wins a year ago, NIT final.
Stitt, nice crossover, then he got himself into trouble, got it back. He's had a tough rookie first appearance here in Durham. Shot clock at 11. Stitt gives it up to Rivers. Mays, double team, put it up again.
See how they run to the line.
Singler. Stitt has numbers, 3-on-2. Good pass to Rivers. That's the way a fast break is supposed to be run.
And when you run to the line and shoot it from the corner, usually that's going to lead on the miss to a long rebound. Tigers took advantage.
Paulus starts at the point here in the second half. Poor pass by Paulus.
You know, Mike, when you go on the road, the one thing you don't want to do is get knocked out in the first half. And now, whoa.
Beautiful inbounds pass. DeMarcus Nelson right at the rim, and Paulus with a gorgeous look.
And even now, the first 4 minutes of the second half,
You want to just get to the 16-minute mark, still in the ball game.
Well, they could have folded earlier in this half, or the first half. Clemson a little shaky starting the second half here. Stitt with an air ball, saved by Rivers, always under control. Hammonds slices in beautifully, went with the left hand, missed it. Booker draws the foul. Boy, he just works and works and works.
Take a look at this last basket, Mike. The defender is not watching the basketball right here. You must see ball and man, and that's just a little raised eyebrow by Paulus. He's just going to give Nelson a look, let him know he's going to throw the lob.
Booker at the line against Charlotte and Florida State combined. He had 61 points.
Now, when you do think about Clemson basketball, you think of all the quality big men through the years. The Tree Rollinses, the Dale Davis, the Marcus Grant, yep, Eldon Campbell, Sharon Wright.
Paulus nearly lost it. Singler has Mays right in his grill. Henderson, nice cut, nice pass. Thomas is mugged. One thing Clemson will not allow you is easy baskets inside, will they?
They will not. Then they have the depth to be able to withstand a foul or two with Sykes off the bench.
Rivers picks up his second. Thomas with a miss. Duke is not a great free throw shooting team. There have been times in this club's history under Mike Krzyzewski they have been. Not this year. About average. And Thomas a little below average on that trip. The lead is only 4. Rivers got Singler on his hip, got it to Mays. Mays, it's tough for him to grab the basketball because that left hand is so heavily bandaged. But he did that time, and the lead is cut to 2.
That time they got more dribble penetration against that Duke defense. Got in the lane.
DeMarcus Nelson, the senior captain, for 3. One and done. Booker with another rebound. Here comes Stitt. They can tie with a 2, take the lead with a 3. Booker wants the ball down low, and he's held. Second foul, or the third foul, rather, on Lance Thomas.
Here's a good example. You see the dribble drive by Rivers, and then Mays, you see he catches it. He's got that big brace on his left hand, able to get it to the rim. That's not easy.
Third on Thomas. And he represents most of Duke's size. Pretty play off the inbounds. Hammond slashes right down the lane. We are tied at 45. Henderson back the other way. Missed it, but fouled. Going to be on Booker. That'll be 2 on Booker, and Oliver Purnell did not like the call. More college basketball tonight on ESPN. We have a big SEC rivalry game for you. Kentucky against Florida, Saturday primetime, presented by Direct TV tonight. Billy Donovan trying to reload after a couple of wonderful championship runs.
Billy Gillespie has Patrick Patterson, a very, very solid. In fact, Patrick Patterson would be great in this game with all the banging inside. Young man from Huntington, West Virginia, off to a great start for the Wildcats. Almost came to Duke, as a matter of fact.
Duke regains the lead by a bucket.
I think we'll see Oglesby soon, Mike, because Stitt has had a solid freshman year, but this is not his type of ball game.
No. And Oglesby has been unbelievable. Stitt that time may have earned a couple of more minutes with that drive.
Stay there, Oglesby. Not yet.
I'd put him in for somebody, I'll tell you that, Fran. Singler driving past Booker, and Booker picks up another foul. That'll be 3 on Booker.
It's funny, Mike, when we talk about scoring in the lane, that usually relates to big people. Duke doesn't have the inside presence, so they attack the paint off the dribble, And really, the same thing gets accomplished. You got to have some inside scoring, but you can do it different ways. Duke does it off the bounce.
And keep in mind, Zubek is out with the broken bone in his foot. He's got a screw in there. It was surgically repaired this summer. So when they get him back, and they expect that to be sooner than later, they have a much bigger inside presence. You might notice the scratches on Kyle Singler's face. Here's what happened to him. I mean, he just got a face full of a drive there that got to cut. And then against Florida State, he got a face full of the floor.
Then he said at the end of that game, "Cut me, Mick. Cut me, Mick."
Well, he went 6 rounds with Ali before he was knocked out.
And Mike Krzyzewski said they need him on the floor so much they don't want him to take too many chances. And not so much getting hurt, but picking up a foul.
Sykes, nice entry, pass to May, and Singler was there to block it. Henderson, nice pass. Henderson to Smith for the layup.
Test of wills. Clemson tried to go inside, didn't get it done. It opens up the floor for what Duke does well.
And Singler congratulated the Duke bench for the block on Mays. What a defensive play that led to the break.
The NCAA Women's Basketball Championship coming in March.
Rob, you know Verizon Wireless still has lots of really great phones on sale. Got myself a Venus with a touchscreen.
Get excited all over again. Because some of the hottest LG phones are still on sale at Verizon Wireless. Now buy one music playing chocolate in your favorite color for $79.99 and get one free. Verizon Wireless.
At T. Rowe Price, successful investing is about balancing risk and reward intelligently. For each 3, 5, and 10-year period, over 70% of our mutual funds beat their Lipper average, finding the right opportunity. Low-cost mutual funds from T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence. Request a complete prospectus or profile with investment objectives, risks, fees, expenses, and other information to read and consider carefully before investing.
One great car leads to another, leads to another. The Mitsubishi Lancer. Hop in. It's go time.
Honey, look at this.
Is it for all of us?
Yeah. $1,600 for a week. We can do that.
Oh, yeah.
The magic begins when you realize you can afford a Disney vacation. Other affordable packages all year long. Visit disneyworld.com/affordable.
Kyle Singler helping Duke to a 51-47 lead. Great plays at both ends of the court, Grant.
And Singler is a very underrated defender. Great timing right here. The block on Mays. And that leads to what Duke really does well. Spread the floor, attack you. Basket on the under end by the other freshman, Nolan Smith, who's had quietly, Mike, a really good game today.
Sure has. Duke with 4 players in double figures so far. They lead 51-47. Stitt. That's his second nice drive in about 3 minutes. Almost a turnover against the Clemson pressure. So Oliver Purnell trying to do the same thing to Duke that Duke did to them in the first half. Singler working on Hammonds. Nice kick. Henderson wide open. To tie Sykes.
Hey, I take back what I said about Sykes. Leave Oglesby there for a while. This guy's Mr. Basketball in North Carolina. And the fact that Oliver Purnell stuck him in the starting lineup at the beginning of the season tells you a little something.
Henderson, good cut to get inside. Got Mays on his hip and draws the foul. Mays goes down hard, and the Clemson fans are going to hold their breath every time Mays hits the floor. Fran Fraschilla on how you break a streak like this. Clemson has endured against Duke. Useful information when we come back.
Did you feel something moving? What is that? Look at the mouth is moving. Ground, do you copy? Those guys are riding that thing.
Winter X Games 12. The Mountain comes to life January 24th, live on ESPN and ABC.
At the number 1?
Yeah. At the number 2? Yeah.
Want something different? Try a breakaway basket from Long John Silver's. Alaskan flounder with corn and pups or chicken with fries and pups, amazingly $2.99. Only at Long John Silver's.
The Mitsubishi Outlander. Hop in. It's go time.
You're right. We need a new TV.
Text Chase for your credit card balance and decide what to spend in seconds.
It's perfect.
Real-time info matters. Chase what matters.
At the number 1?
Yeah. At the number 2? Yeah.
Want something different? Try a breakaway basket from Long John Silver's. Alaskan flounder with corn and pups or chicken with fries and pups, amazingly $2.99. Only at Long John Silver's.
Clemson Tiger fans hoping to see the end to a 21-game losing streak to the Duke Blue Devils. What are the keys to doing it, Coach?
Well, first of all, you want a veteran team that's been through this. They were here last year. They let that game slip away. And I used to tell my team, let's just stay in the game from TV timeout to TV timeout. You must make your free throws, not a Clemson strength. Only 4 of 10 tonight. Defense is obvious. And then you have to have a selective memory. You have to put the past out of your mind and concentrate on the now. And the now right now for Clemson is let's just get a good shot each time down the floor, take care of the basketball.
The only streak Clemson faces that's worse than this, they have never won at North Carolina, as in ever. Ever's a long time.
I know.
Duke led by as many as 12. Henderson knocks them both down, 53-51. Duke 15 out of 18 at the line. They are shooting better than their average tonight. Clemson has yet to make those clutch free throws at the end of a ball game when they were necessary. Can they do it today?
2 freshman guards now for Oliver Purnell.
Oglesby, tough shot. Didn't get the roll. Last touch by Clemson.
The intent was good because when you handle that kind of pressure 22, 23 feet away, driving it to the paint is a good antidote.
And Oglesby going to get a seat on the bench. Clemson beating the, Duke beating the pressure this time. Henderson with a miss. And a foul.
You know, when Duke comes down, Mike, they keep putting those wings in the corners, and you have to respect them. Look how wide. Now freeze it for a second, guys. Look how wide the wings are, and that really opens up the paint for Henderson to attack the rim. You know, when Duke plays offense, it's almost like a 4-on-4 in hockey. when two guys go to the penalty box. That's how much room there is on the floor.
Henderson, 5 out of 5 from the stripe in this half. The lead is 3. Stitt got by Smith. Follow won't go. Singler with a rebound. Perry was upset because he had a pretty good look at that follow shot. Rivers with a rebound. Boy, Clemson is just killing Duke on the board. Rivers for 3. Got it. You can't give him that kind of a look at a three-point shot because he'll make almost all of them.
See a little full court pressure now, but that will open up the floor. If you don't get a steal in the backcourt, it plays into Duke's hands.
Under 14 minutes to go in a 54-54 tie. Shire is back in. Henderson missed the jam. Are you kidding? Shire saved it, but he's on the end line.
That looked like Meadowlark Lemon. I thought he put the ball under his shirt. Take a look at this fake. Takes everybody the other way. Woo! Inches from being one of the dunks of the year.
Yeah.
Huh?
You got to credit Sykes.
Yeah.
At least he got a hand in his face.
You know what I love about Henderson? People don't realize that even though he grew up as the son of an NBA player, he also grew up as the son of a guy that loves golf. So he played as much golf as he did basketball, and he's got a lot of room for improvement on the hardwood. Young man, the son of Gerald Henderson of Boston Celtics and Sixers, former VCU Ram. Take a look at this now. He gets up, and you're right. Sykes got in the way just a little.
The senior Henderson was very close with Johnny Dawkins, Duke's associate head coach, and Dawkins has always been close to Nolan Smith, one of the reasons he's here in the Duke United.
That's right, yep. Teammate of his dad, the late Derek Smith, who was a great player at Louisville, 1980 national champs.
And suffered a tragic, untimely death on a family cruise when Nolan Smith was only 7. First time Clemson's had the lead since they were up 12-11. And here's some more full court pressure. Paulus back in. Nelson kicks it back. Paulus wide open, one of the best three-point shooters in the league. Missed that. Henderson with a rebound, runs into a double team and draws a foul.
Well, the execution was good. Once again, the dribble drive into the lane and the kick out.
It's going to be on Hammonds. Clemson has grabbed the momentum here in the second half. Henderson tried to go down the lane, and he's held. And Hammonds picks up his second personal foul in 10 seconds. Does it look like they're calling the game closer in the second half than they did the first?
It's good officiating because these officials know the game is going to go down to the wire, and they understand that both teams love to get up and down and play aggressive basketball. So it's good to have a quick whistle right now. It sets the tempo for the game, but believe me, they'll still get up and down.
Duke will shoot the 1-and-1 with 13:24 to go in the game and can't take advantage of it.
Now you've got Booker back in. You've got some shooters. I would try to spread the floor. See if you can't get the big fella inside.
Very bad pass. DeMarcus Nelson takes it end to end. Nelson anticipated the lazy pass and got it.
That ball had too much distance to travel.
Airmail by Hammonds, threw it away.
See, this ball had to travel longer than normal. That gave Nelson the chance to run through the lane and get the easy two.
Oglesby will come in for Clemson, so will Mays, as both coaches shuffle players in and out trying for the right matchups.
First time today we see some 1-3-1.
Paulus recognizes it. Very smart point guard.
This will, if they handle the ball out top, they'll get open looks.
Thomas backing in. Nelson. Mays clears. Crowd wanted to travel, but that was a good no call. Duke leads by 1. Oglesby looking to make something happen. Mays backing in on McClure. Bad pass by Mays. Paulus against Perry. Somehow he got it up and in.
Tough shot. Reminded me of the shot he made against Florida State in the final couple minutes. But he also made a great play running through the passing lane off the double team of Mays.
3 straight Clemson turnovers, and Duke is back on top.
With Duke's size, they have to double Mays and Booker. But if you're the Booker and Mays, you must make good decisions out of the double. Take a look, Mike. Mays gets doubled. He's got to look to the weak side. He makes a soft pass that Paulus is able to run through. And this is a tough shot. Takes contact. And the finish. He jumps into the defender, which is a smart play because it freezes him.
Really takes away the arm length of a bigger guy.
Absolutely. Yep. And it limits his ability to extend.
Boy, that look on Oliver Purnell's face just said it all. Had the lead and watched his team turn it over on 3 consecutive possessions to give it back. Now Hammonds, who is probably going to be the ball handler in the clutch. He has a 3-to-1 assisted turnover ratio this year. Where Singler got away with one, reached out and grabbed hold of a jersey. Nice pass, Oglesby. Maybe 2 open. Pushing foul call against the Blue Devils as they went for a rare rebound. And Oglesby says, my fault. Oliver Purnell, what does it take to win a game here?
I'm Heather Winnan, and my neck is where it hurts. I'm an aerialist. I'm a circus performer. My parents thought I was a wild child. What are we going to do with this kid? Send her off to the circus, I guess. It's not just a sport. It's a bit of my soul. It's an art form. I get pain in my neck and my back. Sometimes I can't do a performance if I'm in so much pain. I tried Aleve liquid gels. Those things work, and they work well. It was very quick for me. I was able to perform the way I want to perform for as long as I wanted to perform. I'm ecstatic about finding them.
Spare Thoughts with Chris Barnes, professional bowler.
I am Chris Barnes. I am the $1 Million Man. On my command, you, puny pins, will fall. I said fall! Yep, works every time.
The Denny's PBA Tour 2008 Motel 6 Dick Weber Open. Tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Brakes. The most important system in your car. If you're experiencing symptoms of worn brakes, noise or grinding, pulsation, brake grab, or if your brake pedal needs excessive pressure, come into Les Schwab for a free brake inspection. If your brakes need service, we do it right, we do it complete. Repairing, resurfacing, replacing, and adjusting. All backed by our full parts and labor guarantee. Les Schwab Brake Service. If we can't guarantee it, we won't sell it.
If you're waiting for warm weather to get back to washing your car, KD Car Washes advises you not to wait, because your vehicle's finish can be damaged by the oil, brake dust, de-icing agents, and other destructive elements thrown onto your car's surface during winter driving. To practice preventive maintenance and reduce the risk of damage, the answer is to keep washing your car. That's why we're here. Rain, snow, or shine, KD Car Washes, for all that your car goes through.
This game is available on ESPN, an amazing ESPN HD presented by Olivia. Men's and women's college basketball come your way Monday on both ESPN and ESPN2 at 7 Eastern. Syracuse on ESPN against number 6 Georgetown. And on ESPN2 at 7, two of the best teams in all of women's basketball face off. Number 3 North Carolina goes to play number 1 Connecticut. Big Monday presented by Bud Light on ESPN and ESPN2. One of the great things about the women's game is that the big teams in women's college basketball meet each other every year. They trade home and home games. It's, you know, take no prisoners. Just go play them.
Except for Tennessee and UConn for now. They've ended the series.
Yeah.
But you know, the other thing I noticed about the women's game is the breadth of talent that's starting to spread out now. I enjoy that women's tournament in March.
Mays, and that is not a good stroke. A 52% free throw shooter.
We talked about the formula for winning at a place like this. And one of them, Mike, it's critical to make your free throws because these are points you don't have to work for in the half court.
But if they make free throws, it's an accident.
Yep.
I mean, you shoot 56% from the year. That means you're a 56% free throw shooting team. And why would it get better at Duke all of a sudden?
Yep, you're right about that.
Shire, who had another big first half. Paulus with a long rebound. That's about the only way Duke is going to get rebounds against these guys. And Paulus from a half mile out. Booker with a rebound.
That zone has kept Duke from penetrating the last couple possessions.
What a shot by K.C. Rivers. We're tied at 58.
Take a look at this defense now. You have to pass the ball, but it eliminates some of the dribble penetration.
Singler had a shot, hesitated, and lost the opportunity. DeMarcus Nelson out of the corner, wide open. Back to Rivers. Two heavyweights slugging it out down the stretch. Oglesby looking for a screen. Nice return pass to Booker. Booker showing some ball handling skills. Got the roll.
How smooth was that? The spin didn't travel. Under control.
The sophomore from Whitmire, South Carolina. Now Oglesby commits the foul on Paulus. Big mistake by the freshman.
What that zone has done is it's kept Duke on the perimeter, eliminated some dribble penetration, but you do not foul a three-point shooter. And a little extra there, I think, from Greg Paulus.
Paulus is an 84% free throw shooter, and Oglesby discussing the call with the official. Booker, by the way, 13 points and 10 boards in this one.
I've seen autopsies this year, that wouldn't have been called for a foul on that little acting job by a very smart player. I had a chance to work with Greg Paulus at the Steve Nash Point Guard Academy last summer. What a great kid. I said to him, I didn't realize you were such a good guy. He goes, why, Coach? Because I play at Duke.
4 times Clemson has won at Duke. 76, 77, 84, and 95. That's it. That's it. (64-60) as we approach the 10-minute mark at Cameron Indoor. Oglesby, he went down.
I think he tried to get that call, but he's only a freshman.
Yeah, he wanted to get it back. Drive by Nelson, just slash through that defense.
As good, they're not a good driving team. They're not a better than average driving team. They may be the best driving team in the country.
DeMarcus Nelson has 18. The lead is up to 6, and the Crazies are right back in it.
Clemson's most success has been to attack Duke off the dribble.
Oglesby had it taken away by Paulus. That was another bad pass. It really wasn't Oglesby's turnover.
Oliver Purnell only has 1 timeout left, and he doesn't want to use it here. But he's 1 possession away from needing to call it.
Place is bedlam right now. And he's going to get David Potter back in the ball game.
Remember what we said, Mike, about breaking a streak. You have to go from TV timeout to TV timeout without the game slipping away. 8 points right now is in that zone where it could slip away here.
Yeah, they're hanging on by their fingernails right now because they are made less to play catch-up than Duke is. Hammonds, another errant pass. Nice touch by Potter.
See, they're at their best all night attacking that pressure.
And they're just hammering Duke on the boards, but all it's gotten them right here is down 6. Stitt, Paulus, nice pass. Shire missed the shot. Shire went down, no call. Stitt, body's just flying. That is an offensive foul. It's hot in here, and for Oliver Purnell, it's not getting any cooler.
Henderson has to guard the dribble every day in practice. And he was in perfect position when Potter, and you know what? That pass, Potter could have shot that ball, Mike, but the pass was at his knees. Such a difference if he could have just caught it and rose up, but he had to dribble it because the pass was off the mark.
That's one thing that a lot of people don't see in passing. It's not necessarily if you throw it away or not. You got to hit a guy in stride, in rhythm, in the right place, or he can't shoot it and take advantage of it.
I've thrown many a shoe because of a pass like that.
Shire had it blocked, but a foul called on Potter, who thought he got all ball. The lead is 6. Duke's balance. They're going to have 5 guys in double figures as soon as Henderson gets one more point.
You look at that lineup. There's no center. There's really not even a power forward.
Right.
But they're all skilled. I was talking to Jeff Capel, the coach at Oklahoma, earlier in the week, and he said this Duke team reminds him of the 96-97 team when they had Carrawell, Rashawn McLeod, Langdon himself, and the little guy on the bench who wasn't bad, Steve Wojciechowski.
Got more out of his ability than anybody I've seen in years and years and years. He was just such a great point guard. Defensive player of the year. And I mean, it wasn't, you know, it's no knock on Wojciechowski's talent. He had talent, but he got more out of it, what he had, than anybody I can remember.
Played for the late, great Ray Mullis at Cardinal Gibbons High School in Baltimore.
Duke has scored 30 points tonight off of 17 Clemson turnovers. That's exactly what they had to do, wasn't it, Frank?
That's their antidote to Clemson scoring inside.
Yep. Booker was fronted by Thomas, got a piece and knocked it away. Tough to throw it over that kid.
Yep. And Shire pressuring the ball, Mike. He's another post defender, although you wouldn't think of a guy hanging out on the three-point line as such.
Having trouble with the inbounds, and Shire took advantage of the bad pass. 1-on-2. He'll shoot it himself. I doubt if Mike Krzyzewski wanted that one, and Shire nearly stole it back the other way. 1 against 2, he might have come back out with it. But he gets a hand.
Talk about a guy that's embraced his role as the 6th man.
And if he had whined about it or said, boy, I started 31 to 32, I'm one of the best players on this team, I deserve to start, it wouldn't have worked. But he took the opposite tack and embraced it. 8:05 and counting. Stitt wants Booker, and Booker is held by Henderson. Foul starting to mount up. It might be interesting on the way down the stretch.
Yeah, but if you're Oliver Purnell, do you really want to go to the foul line?
No, sir. That's the last place you want to be. You're hoping to get a shot off before the whistle blows.
Now with Booker, at least you have a 70% shooter.
And Stitt is also an outstanding free throw shooter.
I think
but he doesn't. He's not going to get fouled very often.
70 at Clemson qualifies you as being Rick Barry.
Yeah, you're in the record book. You know, if more guys shot the ball underhand, you realize the percentage would go up so dramatically, but you couldn't get a kid these days to shoot the ball underhand.
Not in the days of the N1 mixtapes.
No.
You get laughed off the playground.
Exactly. Well, no, on a playground you wouldn't do it. There's no way. The lead is 7, exactly 8 minutes to go, and Oglesby is going to go to the bench.
This is what we talked about. It's still within reach. So if you get to the 8-minute timeout, if you're Clemson, you don't feel too badly. Little zone now, 2-3 zone, Mike. Don't see this much out of Duke.
This comes from Mike Krzyzewski's Olympic experience and the Jim Boeheim influence.
Yep.
They don't do it very often, and it's just a little change-up. Shot clock at 11. Stitt, nice penetration, then he threw it away. Clemson continues to turn it over. And Duke is making them pay every time they do. 19 turnovers, 32 Duke points. They lead by 9.
Nolan Smith has real quietly killed Clemson softly today.
Blocking foul on Shire. That'll be 3 on the sophomore. Duke with 1 loss this year. Where do they rank among 1-loss teams? Maybe they're at the top. We'll find out.
Luxury and performance that move to a whole new beat. Yours, the Acura TSX. Acura. Advance.
Take advantage of attractive lease rates on the 2008 Acura TSX for well-qualified customers.
So I asked my dad where he wanted to go for his 60th birthday. Norway, he said, the land of our ancestors. We drank a pint at Ibsen's favorite pub. We sampled the local fare. We got new sweaters.
I feel like yodeling.
It was the trip of a lifetime, Dad said, until we went to the Hall of Records and discovered we were actually Swedish. 2 tickets to Stockholm, please?
Whatever your story is, your Citi card can help you write it. Citi, let's get it done.
You can customize your car, your ringtone, and now dinner.
Now customize dinner with Applebee's 3-Course Classic starting at $9.99. Choose entree, appetizer, and desserts starting at $9.99.
Applebee's. Get it together, baby.
Duke huddling after a run that has taken them up to a 9-point lead with 7:15 to go in the game. This one has been tight from the get-go.
We showed the 2-3 zone that Mike Krzyzewski brought out here. 7 minutes to go in the game. And this is not a zone to rest in. Keep your eye on the activity right here, both in the low post and now the drive, the steal, and just the changeup. You know, when you're a baseball pitcher, Mike, it's hard to get by with the 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Every now and then you throw the knuckle curve or the changeup at a team and try to screw them up. The interesting thing is Oliver Purnell, having coached against him, is really good at changing up defenses. Mike Krzyzewski one-upped him on that last possession.
College Game Day driven by State Farm will follow our broadcast. I have a feeling we're a ways from being done here, and Clemson's got another run in them.
Well, you hate to beat a dead horse, but you now have to make your free throws if you're Clemson. Potter goes to the line.
Now I wonder where that saying came from. I have never seen anyone hit a dead horse.
You believe that? 75% coming in today.
Free throws, free throws, free throws. 6 out of 17. Ouch. Singler. Henderson nearly pulled off the rebound. Now they're going to say last touch by Clemson.
You know, it's funny. When I had bad free throw shooting teams, sometimes the more we practice, the worse we got because it's so mental. And I know that Clemson shoots a lot of them. They're recruiting some good shooters like Oglesby and Stitt, but oftentimes, Mike, it's all mental and less physical.
Shire tried to force it up. Singler will try a three and got it. You cannot give Duke multiple opportunities. Singler has 14.
And Mike Krzyzewski doesn't mind if he misses 5 in a row. He wants him to stay aggressive.
Rivers, the veteran, trying to take over and do something, cuts it back to 10. Now Clemson's defense is going to have to try to turn Duke over. Henderson nearly lost it, goes in, basket, and the foul on Booker. I don't know how Henderson got it up. I don't know how he made it either.
Talk about a guy that's made a jump from his freshman to his sophomore year. What I love about Gerald Henderson, because he's late to basketball in terms of really making this his point of emphasis, he's got so much room to keep improving. Heck of a move right there.
Got to feel bad for Booker because Henderson created the contact.
Yes, he did.
Chance for a three-point play. Booker now with 4 fouls, and that's huge. Duke's built it to 13. It's danger time for Clemson. They need some really good possessions in a row.
And you want to get to where you're down 6 with 4 minutes. If you're Oliver Purnell, that would be fine with him. See the zone.
I'm surprised Oglesby isn't in there right now because they're going to need some three-point shooting.
See, it's not the best zone you've ever seen, but it's a great changeup.
Shot clock down to 5. One bad pass after the other for Clemson. 20 turnovers. Great ball movement leaves Singler wide open from the corner. Credit Shire with that. Shire could have had a shot. Instead, he passed. 81-65. Oliver Purnell just burned his last timeout to stop a 21-4 run.
And they do it because they've gotten turnovers today. They space the floor so well, they move it well, and they're knocking down threes.
More college basketball comes your way tonight on ESPN. We'll have a big SEC rivalry for you. 9 o'clock Eastern, Kentucky against Florida. Saturday primetime, presented by DirecTV tonight. Well, Duke, we talked about this, Fran, being a statement game, and right now Duke is the one making the statement.
Well, they are. It's a fun team for Mike Krzyzewski because he told us yesterday and today, he said, I don't know how we're going to react against a team with this kind of size. You almost sense that it's like an experiment for him the regular season as they get ready for the tournament and beyond. And I love the effort today because it's been a test of wills. Clemson has hurt him inside, Mike, but they have really utilized the turnover to create offense on the other end.
Well, he has always been brutally honest about how good his team is. He's not real sure right now.
That's right. He's finding out today.
Yeah. Here are the one-loss teams that you can rank. Duke, Carolina, Tennessee, Indiana, and Drake. Pretty good records there. Carolina, in case you missed it, lost this afternoon. Maryland went into Chapel Hill and just stunned them.
Tennessee, very good. I've seen them this year. They play 10, 11 guys. They run up and down. And how about a little kudos to Keno Davis at Drake, Tom's son, who has the Bulldogs playing good basketball.
Oglesby is in the ball game. One of the few ways you can get back in a game like this, down by 15 on the road, is threes. Mays clobbered by Smith, and he'll go to the line. But that's what you want to do with Clemson. Send them to the line, where if they hit 1 out of 2, it's a pretty good trip.
Absolutely. They got the dribble penetration in the lane, but I would whack them every chance you get. Put them on the line, they can make free throws.
Mays, nice kid. Has really struggled with those injuries this year. I mean, one after the other after the other. And he just, sort of smiles at it. Well, like, this is my senior year. You're not going to get me out of the lineup. I'm playing.
Didn't he remind you of those NFL guys that you know they're going to just play hurt to the end of the year?
Like one of the offensive linemen. Yes. I mean, you look at offensive linemen, everybody's hurt. They had broken bones in their legs. Both hands are in casts, and they're out there every Sunday.
Our team, the press. That's the dilemma now. Yep.
Boy, great ball movement. Shire ends up with a wide open jumper, rattles out.
Telling you, it's hard to keep Nelson out of the lane. He's good at it.
Potter, he doesn't like that three-point shot, and another bad pass. Clemson just killing itself with bad plays. DeMarcus Nelson.
Well, Mike Krzyzewski is finding out about his team today. They may not have the size of Clemson, but the quickness, the ability to turn Clemson over has been instant offense.
Fran, when Clemson is making all these turnovers, guys are getting penetration, and then even though they don't see anything, they're making a pass anyway instead of turning around and coming back out and resetting.
When you get into the lane like that, Mike, you almost want the defender to get his body in front of yours, and that'll open up the passing lane. They're passing to players who are still being defended.
That's right. Tipped out, and Shire has it, 83-67. Duke in this game now has 37 points off of turnover. That's 37 out of 83. Clemson protected the ball much better than this when they played North Carolina at Clemson. They did not make these kind of mistakes.
Here's a good example right here. Time and time again today, Duke defense has led to their offense. They may not have a post presence, but these are all points in the paint in a different kind of way.
It's the only way Duke's going to get points in the paint. Under 5 minutes to go. Stitt to Mays. Double team down low. Paulus knocked it away. On the other hand, as far as ball handling, Duke has only turned it over 10 times today.
Against one of the best pressure teams in the country.
A rare chance to go to sleep for Duke on defense on an inbound pass. Rivers with 16 points in this game. And Duke will play keep away. They do this so well.
This is where having 5 players who handle the ball, we talk about the great spacing. This is this is murder now for Clemson.
Mays, oh, did he get away with one? Mays with a flop. I don't think you could knock Mays over with a baseball bat if he didn't see you coming.
You know, when you're going to take a charge like that, if you lift your toes off the ground, I don't know if Mays will do this here. Of course, he doesn't get in front of him, but I used to teach my guys, just lift your toes up, and then any contact, you can blow a guy over with a feather.
Shire would need a 30-yard running start.
What, you're saying he doesn't live in the weight room, Shire?
Wouldn't matter against Mays. Nice lean in by Stitt and the scoop.
That's how you have to handle Duke's defenses. Break them down off the dribble.
10 for the freshman. Duke against the pressure, and there's the foul as Mays was trying to get out on Henderson. Well, with 3:48 to go, does Clemson have another run left?
It's not about the shoes. It's about knowing where you're going, not forgetting where you started. It's about having the courage to fail, not breaking when you're broken, taking everything you've been given and making something better. It's about work before glory, and what's inside of you is doing what they say you can't. It's not about the shoes. It's about what you do in them. It's about being who you were born to be.
Super handling all-wheel drive. It's the most thrilling way to carve a corner. Advance only from Acura. Acura. Advance.
Take advantage of attractive financing on select Acura models for well-qualified customers.
Here, Daddy.
More bars in more places.
Look, Daddy sent us a picture.
That's what you can expect from AT&T, the largest digital voice and data network in America.
You're the only reason I keep on coming home.
Switch to the network you can trust, AT&T.
Get our exclusive smartphones, now only $99.99.
He's happy, and why not? It's 83-71 Duke at home with only 3 minutes and 48 seconds to go in this game. Plus 10 in the turnover department, plus 25 in points off of turnovers, plus 15 in fast break points, and their bench has outdone Clemson. Those are the critical stats today. And the Clemson turnovers have been turnovers that have led to fast breaks and easy baskets.
Yes, they have.
If you give Duke easy baskets, it's over.
And I think this is what Mike Krzyzewski wanted to find out. How do we play against a big team that's going to outman us inside? And the way he did it, remember he said to us before the game, diversion. If we press full court, extend on the perimeter, they may not get as many looks inside. And they've also come away not only by disrupting the offense, but the turnovers have led to points.
Well, he's a master of illusion then, isn't he?
Yes. Because if he banged with this guy all night, Booker, he'd have his hands full.
Booker draws a foul. Clemson is 8 of 19 at the free throw line. Jeez, 8 of 19.
Now, if you go and make 15 of 19, you're down 4 or 5 right here.
Yeah, you make 8 out of 19 by accident, don't you?
It's
just
like
by shooting it?
Missing free throws. It's just, you might as well turn the ball over. It's just like a travel or a palming violation.
Sophomore from Whitmire, South Carolina, 15 points and 10 boards. You're going to get a huge effort out of this kid every night. Love to watch him play. 1 out of 2. The lead is 11. Duke goes back to milk the clock.
Now you got 5 ball handlers.
Time is more important than scoring. .312 to go in the game. Shot clock at 8. Singler trying to take Booker. Duke gets the tip from DeMarcus Nelson. How rare is that? And Nelson has 22.
You know, Mike, there are glue guys and there are super glue guys. Guys that not only keep your team together, but also are prolific statistically. That describes DeMarcus Nelson to a T.
Hope you'll be with us on Monday on ESPN or ESPN2. Either one, you'll get to see a good ball game. Syracuse against number 6 Georgetown at 7 o'clock on ESPN. Over on ESPN2, also at the same time, 2 of the best in women's basketball. Sylvia Hatchell will take her Tar Heels up to see UConn, the number 1 Huskies. Roy Hibbert, only 3 rebounds.
Well, the way they play, the thing I like about him for 7'2", he does spend a lot of time away from the basket. Hope Luke Arangoti's okay because he caught an inadvertent elbow from the big fella today. You talk about looking like Jerry Cooney.
85-72. Clemson has to show a real sense of urgency here. Oglesby would like to make something happen. Leans in over Paulus. It's an air ball. Follow is blocked. Singler comes out with it. And Duke on the verge of wrapping this one up. Bad pass. Rivers can't get the steal. Oglesby 2 out of 8. But he showed us something here tonight. That he is more than just a one-dimensional player.
Passing ability. What's your feeling about Clemson, Mike?
I still like him.
Yep, I do
Fran,
too.
I think that's a good ball club. In spite of the way they've turned it over and shot free throws today, they're going to be a factor.
No, I agree. They've got too much strength inside. They're usually not going to get pressured Like Duke has today.
Duke's going to let him go inside, and Stitt has had a pretty good second half. He scores here to make it 11 points. Paulus against the pressure. And Oglesby with that gesture is right on the verge of picking up a tee. And getting a little lecture here because of it.
We told you he was feisty. Of course, when you score as many points as he did in high school, that's okay. It's good officiating, too. You know,
yes, it is.
Could have teed him, but the kid's a competitor.
Paulus 3 out of 3 at the line. He was fouled on the 3-point shot. Well, guess what's coming up? Look at February 6th. Duke at North Carolina. Will the Heels be #1 again by then? Who knows? But they've got to go to Virginia Tech at Maryland, the team that knocked off North Carolina, the arch rival game with NC State. It's never easy.
No, and the question I think you ask yourself if you're Mike Krzyzewski, okay, we guarded Mays and Booker reasonably well today, and partly because they pressured the perimeter so much, but you're not going to be able to do that with Ty Lawson.
The other part of it, they should have Zubac back by then, or at least they hope they will.
Yep.
And Zubac probably give him 6, 7, 8 minutes a half.
I think you're right. 5 fouls.
They're coming to their feet at Cameron Indoor, and it looks like the streak is going to continue. Clemson just cannot win here. Very few teams do. Henderson.
You know, they don't have and you say, do you need a go-to guy? This is a good example. Duke really doesn't have one go-to guy.
Stitt, nice crossover, nice drive.
I've been impressed with the freshman from Matthews, former Mr. Basketball in this state, so he's had an impressive homecoming.
Shire goes baseline just to keep the ball to Nelson. A nice job by Nelson, not trying to do too much because somebody got a piece of him. And I think Nelson may have tweaked his back a little bit there. He came down very gingerly. Stitt the other way, and he's fouled. Keep an eye on Nelson. I think he hurt himself.
When you play Duke, if you have to play from behind, Mike, you see Nelson right here after he gets the dunk. Didn't even dunk it, but you see him. Yep.
I don't think anyone on the bench saw it, otherwise they'd have him out right now.
But this is going to be a hard team to play when you are behind because of their ability to spread the floor with 5 guys that can handle the basketball.
Nelson's going to come out, and Mike Krzyzewski's saying, you all right? He'll leave with 24 points. And that matches his career high. 10 out of 13 from the floor. The sole captain this year. He has been the leader, the guy who has taken over, not only on the court, but on the sideline. And that's what you expect from your only senior.
Yeah, we talked to Mike Krzyzewski about that. When you have to be the coach and the captain, it takes a lot out of you. So he's been able to relinquish some of that leadership to his senior, Nelson. And he was raving about him to us before the game.
And you just saw Stitt, who was an 81.7% free throw shooter with a miss. So even the good ones catch the virus from time to time. Smith has really come on as a ball handler and point guard. Oh, what a pass to Henderson. Just great awareness. Head up, always looking.
Can't guard him when you're behind.
Oglesby goes in with the left hand, missed. Singler last touched it. Only 12.2 seconds left. And Duke will raise its record to 15-1. They will now have won 22 straight games against the Clemson Tigers. Still 30 short of John Wooden's record of 52 against Cal. What was Cal thinking every time they lined up against UCLA?
You had to remind Bear fans, didn't you?
Yeah. The bank is open. Statement game. for the Duke Blue Devils as they win it 93-80 over the Clemson Tigers. That's the final score from Cameron Indoor Stadium in Durham. Stay tuned for College Game Day. Don't forget our post-game extra on ESPN News. For Fran Fraschilla and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
The Rowdy Reptiles are ready. The back-to-back reigning national champions. A completely new look this year, but Florida and Kentucky always intense. The Wildcats, a game under 500 in the first year under Billy Gillispie, but there's the star freshman, Patrick Patterson,